there's never been a society that wasn't constructed on the backs of men. It's a simple biological fact, apparent to anyone who bothers to look around, that finding a woman digging dirt on a construction site or 50 floors up cleaning a window is about as common as finding an attractive feminist. It's it's very simple. The roofs over your head, the floor under your feet, pretty much everything you use was designed and built by a man. Now, some people will say this is simply, of course, a result of the historical patriarchal prejudice. Women just didn't have access to things. Well, they do now, and the situation isn't changing very much. And there are some reasons for that we'll get into. Camille Paglia, who is has this distinguished reputation as one of the few non-mental feminists in history. Sort of dissident lesbian feminist. She's actually the only dyke I like. Discussed. Stop it. Stop it. Discussed this phenomenon in her book Sexual Personae, which is probably the best book ever written about gender politics. She summed it up with one irrefutable quote, and that was this one. If civilization had been... She wrote it, not me. If civilization had been left in female hands, we would still be living in grass huts. Oh, I quite like my aromatherapy shower. I quite like the internet. I quite like roads. I quite like the fact that we've been to the moon and that we have explored the oceans. I quite like the fact that we have libraries and civilization. I quite like all sorts of things that are, that our civilization has built, mainly thanks to the ingenuity and hard work of men, and mainly fueled and sustained by the dirty, difficult, dangerous job of being a bloke, whether that is being in the army or simply working construction. Women don't want to do these jobs. In fact, if you read the definitive history of the Apollo program by Charles Murray, you'll find that the young men who made moonshots possible lived in settings very similar to Dartmouth's own animal houses, supervised by older men so tough-talking they'd make Indiana's Bobby Knight blush. Astronauts really go through it. Not quite to the level, I'm told, that Dartmouth frat houses do, but they do have a bit of a hard time. Women should want men to be men, frankly. We want to look after women. We want to cherish women. We want them to be celebrated and protected. We want them to be loved. We don't want to have them elbow deep in grease or down the bottom of a mine or hanging off a building, unless they're lesbians and they want to go do that. Unless there's Sally Cohn. I mean, I'd quite like to see Sally Cohn wrenched off CNN and thrown down a cave, you know? Might give her a little perspective.